Let me start with something that may surprise you. You've probably heard of apple cider vinegar, right? It's in every grocery store, every health influencer's video, every so-called miracle detox trend. But let me tell you something, most people have absolutely no idea what it's actually capable of doing inside the body. Today, I'm not here to sell you hype. I'm here to show you how apple cider vinegar can begin reversing insulin resistance almost immediately, and why the way most people are using it might actually be limiting its potential. See, insulin resistance isn't just about too much sugar. It's about the silent breakdown of communication between your cells and your hormones. Every time you eat, especially refined carbs or processed snacks, your body releases insulin to help shuttle glucose into your cells. But when insulin keeps knocking and the cells stop answering, that's insulin resistance. And that's when the trouble begins. Stubborn belly fat, constant fatigue, sugar cravings, brain fog, and eventually type 2 diabetes. Your body keeps producing insulin, but your cells are no longer listening. Here's where apple cider vinegar steps in, and this part still amazes me every time I see it in my patients' results. When you take ACV before meals, just 1 or 2 teaspoons diluted in water, it immediately blunts the blood sugar spike after eating. The acetic acid in ACV slows the release of glucose into the bloodstream and increases your cell's sensitivity to insulin. Think of it like tuning the radio signal between your pancreas and your cells. Suddenly, the message is clear again. Hey, open up. We've got glucose coming in. Inside your gut, ACV changes the environment almost instantly. Its natural acetic acid lowers the pH slightly, creating a friendlier terrain for beneficial bacteria to thrive, and those gut microbes are directly linked to better glucose control. So, it's not magic, it's simple, elegant biochemistry. I remember one woman, Maria, who came to me absolutely exhausted. She was trying everything: low-carb diets, fasting. Nothing seemed to work. Her fasting glucose hovered around 130 mg/dL. We added one simple habit: 1 tablespoon of ACV in water, 15 minutes before meals. Within 3 days, her post-meal glucose dropped by 20 points. 3 days. That doesn't mean it's a miracle potion. It means her body's chemistry was waiting for the right signal, and ACV delivered it. Here's the key, though most people use it wrong. They gulp it straight, damaging their throat and tooth enamel, or they take it without proper timing. But timing is everything. The best way to take ACV is before your highest carb meal of the day, diluted in at least 200 ml of water. Add a pinch of cinnamon or lemon juice to enhance its effect, and please, don't drink it on an empty stomach first thing in the morning if you have acid sensitivity. Your gut needs food to balance the acidity. There's another way ACV works that almost no one talks about. It activates an enzyme called AMPK, the same enzyme triggered by fasting or intense exercise. When AMPK is activated, your body starts burning fat instead of storing it. That's why many people report weight loss along with improved insulin sensitivity. Recently, I've started testing something even more powerful, combining ACV with fiber-rich prebiotics like psyllium husk or inulin. When you mix the two, the fiber slows glucose absorption, while ACV sharpens insulin response. Together, they can turn a blood sugar spike into a gentle, steady curve. That's the secret. Insulin resistance isn't a life sentence. It's reversible, not in years, but in days. When you understand the mechanisms and apply them precisely, healing isn't about restriction. It's about restoring communication inside your body. It's about letting your cells remember how to listen again. Apple cider vinegar is one of nature's simplest and most powerful tools for that. It's not trendy, it's timeless. It's a way to remind your body what balance feels like. Every sip, every conscious choice to use it properly tells your metabolism, wake up, we're healing now. Because when communication between your cells and hormones is restored, your body doesn't just manage glucose, it thrives again, energy returns, fat starts melting away, cravings disappear, and you finally feel that clarity your body was designed to have all along. Now that you understand how apple cider vinegar begins to reverse insulin resistance, let's take it further. Because what most people don't realize is that ACV is not just a quick glucose fix. It can become a rhythm, a part of your body's daily metabolic language. Once your cells start listening again, every small habit you build either strengthens that communication or silences it. And this is where the new ways to use ACV come in, ways that go far beyond just drink a spoonful before meals. I've seen hundreds of patients try apple cider vinegar once or twice, give up, and say, "It didn't work for me." But what they didn't know was that the body speaks in patterns. You have to teach your metabolism consistency. When you give your body the right inputs at the right times, it begins to reprogram itself almost automatically. ACV simply enhances that process. One of my favorite methods I teach my patients is something I call metabolic stacking. It's simple, it's science-based, and it works. First, you start your day with plain water and a pinch of minerals. This wakes up your hydration system before your digestive system. Then, after your first meal, not before, you take 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar diluted in water. Doing it after a meal slows gastric emptying, balances digestion, and prevents that mid-morning crash most people experience after eating. Then comes the most underrated step of all, movement. 10 minutes of walking after a meal doubles the benefit of ACV because you're using muscle movement to pull glucose out of the bloodstream while vinegar is fine, tuning insulin response. I've seen patients cut their post-meal glucose levels by almost half just by pairing these 2 steps together. And then there's nighttime ACV. Few people know that taking a teaspoon of ACV in water before bed can help stabilize overnight blood sugar levels. For people who wake up with high fasting glucose, this is often the missing key. It's not that their diet is bad, it's that the liver is releasing extra glucose during the night, a phenomenon called the dawn effect. Apple cider vinegar gently improves liver sensitivity to insulin, calming that nighttime glucose release and helping you wake up with a stable, steady reading. There's another way I love to use ACV. Inside meals, when you cook rice, quinoa, or pasta, add a teaspoon of vinegar to the boiling water. The acetic acid slightly changes the structure of the starch, turning some of it into resistant starch, which behaves more like fiber in the body. It feeds your gut bacteria instead of spiking your blood sugar. Even something as simple as drizzling ACV into your salad dressing or soup before serving can make a noticeable difference. It's not about the flavor, it's about giving your metabolism small, constant reminders of balance. I remember one of my clients, a 52-year-old man named Robert. He was constantly tired and had severe sugar cravings every evening. His insulin resistance was moderate, but it was enough to make him feel stuck. I added a small bedtime ritual for him, a warm drink made of water, 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar, cinnamon, and a few drops of raw honey. It satisfied his sweet craving but didn't spike his blood sugar. Within a week, those cravings vanished. He slept better, woke up clearer, and his morning glucose dropped by 15 points. This is the power of ACV when used with intention. It's not a quick fix, it's a tuning fork for your metabolism. Every small use sends a signal: lower glucose, improve sensitivity, restore balance. But it works best when you support it with the right lifestyle. Stress management is crucial because high cortisol can undo the benefits of ACV by spiking glucose. Quality sleep matters because poor sleep alone can raise insulin resistance by up to 30%. And strength training, building muscle, creates the largest glucose sink in your body. ACV amplifies all these effects, but it cannot replace them. So the new ways to use apple cider vinegar are not about quantity, they're about precision. Use it before your most carb-heavy meals. Use it after meals when digestion feels sluggish. Try it before bed if fasting glucose is high. Add it into your recipes so it becomes a habit, not a chore. Pair it with fiber, psyllium, chia seeds, or flax to extend its glucose blunting effect. Every single one of these strategies helps your body remember how to burn fat again instead of storing it. But the real transformation begins when you start paying attention. Track your glucose, your energy, your hunger patterns. Notice how your body responds. When you start feeling more stable, more alert, less hungry, it means your cells are communicating again. You're not fighting your biology anymore, you're flowing with it. Apple cider vinegar, when used this way, stops being just an old folk remedy and becomes a modern metabolic tool. It teaches your body to balance itself again, and that's the future of health, understanding the small, powerful levers that awaken your natural chemistry of healing. So don't think of ACV as a trick or a trend. Think of it as a signal, a daily reminder that your body was designed for balance, for clarity, for strength. Every drop you take with awareness is a message to your metabolism. Wake up. We remember how to heal. And when you use it right, it doesn't just lower your blood sugar, it changes your entire metabolic rhythm. It brings your body back into harmony with itself. That's the kind of change you can feel, not in years, but in days.